it's Debra Jason with Creative Whispers of the Heart, and today I'm painting this beach scene. I lay down some 91% isopropyl alcohol, and then I drip some drops of cloudy blue and sailboat blue. Taking a round brush, I go back and forth from one side of the paper to the other, spreading the ink. This sheet, by the way, is 5 inches by 7 inches. When I'm done with that, I take some cobalt blue on the tip of my brush and create a horizon line. It should be as straight as it can, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be absolutely straight. And then I go down along the right side of the paper, dipping my brush in some alcohol to make the ink lighter as I go further down the page. You can see I'm not filling the whole page. I want to just do the right side of the page with the cobalt blue. And just going along, and then I'm adding sand. I'm using Pebble alcohol ink on a cotton swab. Just going back and forth again, this time at an angle on the left side of the page to create sand. And I'm leaving white space intentionally between the cobalt blue and the pebble so that that's going to be the foam of the ocean. I want to lighten it up, so I add a little bit of alcohol to that cotton swab, and whoops, there goes my paper. And as you can see, it's very simple, going back and forth with the cotton swab to create the sand. Now I'm using a Fantastics with a little brush tip. There's a little bit of alcohol on this tool, and I'm lifting the ink back to white to create a cloud. You can see I'm tabbing it on the paper towel so that, there you go, there's a cloud. I don't want it to absorb. I don't want the Fantastics to absorb all that blue, so I keep tapping it on the paper towel. And I'm just lifting the ink back to white to create a fluffy cloud. Putting a little alcohol on that tool there, and now going back and cleaning out some of that to make it whiter. And adding some to that cloud, adding another cloud. Fluffy clouds above the ocean. Now I'm creating a sun. Just lifting a little bit of the ink up there to have a sun on the horizon. I go back to the ocean. I want to lighten that up, and now I'm going to create some foam just by taking the Fantastics in a little circular motion and going along the edge of the cobalt blue. I didn't want a hard edge there because the ocean foam is never a hard edge. It's soft and fluffy. So I'm just lifting ink with the Fantastics, dabbing it on the paper towel, and creating some of that sea foam along the edge of the ocean. Little circular motions with the Fantastics. Now I'm going to fill in that sun. I'm using a microtip applicator with a little bit of Dijon on the tip and filling in the sun along the horizon there. Being careful not to put too much ink on the tip. I dab it on the paper towel because I don't want it to bleed into the cobalt there. So there's my little sun along the horizon, see? Now I'm going to fix that edge of the horizon with an alcohol ink marker. This is also cobalt blue, just trying to straighten it a little bit. It's never a perfect straight edge along the horizon, but I want to now soften that edge. So I'm taking a little bit of alcohol on this round brush and blending in the ink. I don't want it to bloom too much, so just a little bit of alcohol and blending that line along the horizon. Now I'm adding some birds. I would usually use a Posca pen or a Micron pen, but I couldn't find it, so I'm just using this black pen, a little V shape to create 3 birds flying above the ocean in the clouds there. Now I'm adding grass to the sand. I'm using a variety of green alcohol ink markers. Just going up and down, left and right in different directions. Switching to an olive green alcohol ink marker and just doing the same thing. Putting grass in the sand. This one is a bronze green. Whoops, my paper keeps slipping. I'm not wearing gloves now because I'm not blending any inks. I'm just drawing lines along the sand in different directions with a variety of alcohol ink markers in various shades of green. And these blades of grass go left, right, up, down, tiny ones, long ones. Just fill it in however you see fit. Adding a little bit more there. It's kind of intuitive process as usual with alcohol inks, but adding the various blades of grass across the sand. There you go. Now I'm going to add some bubbles to the ocean, and I'm splattering just alcohol, a little bit of alcohol on my brush, and then tapping it on another brush to create little bubbles in the ocean. It's a little hard to see, but there you can see some of them forming to the left and the right. Here you go. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better. There are some little tiny bubbles in the ocean. And then I decide I need more green. So this is actually a watercolor brush. It's not a marker with alcohol ink. It's a seaweed green watercolor brush. It's a different shade that I just felt needed to go in there. And now my painting is done. This is Dreaming of the Beach. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll share it or comment below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.